Archbishop Desmond Tutu orchestrated and planned his entire funeral service in 2018 already, and as you said, he wanted a very simple affair with no frills. He wanted only a bunch of carnations to be placed by his family on his very simple and the cheapest casket. The service is a requiem mass, and the highest of the hierarchy of the Anglican Church in South Africa is leading a procession at the start of the service, followed by the Arch's grandchildren carrying his casket. The service is presided over by the Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, and the sermon delivered by Reverend Michael Wheeler, a close friend of the Arch. President Cyril Ramaphosa will hand the national flag to Tutu's wife, Mama Leia Tutu, as the funeral is a state funeral, although that will be the only part of the funeral that the SANDF is part of, that the National Defence Force is part of. And Archbishop Desmond Tutu chose to be cremated because he did not want to be buried in an apartheid graveyard. His ashes will lay at the St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town, where that was his parish and his home.
Now, as I was saying, the nation has been mourning his death for several days now since Mr. Tutu died on Sunday. His body was, of course, lying in state at that cathedral behind you for the past 48 hours, but crowds have been limited today.
Yes, indeed. Only 100 guests were invited to attend the very small and private service inside the cathedral. No media is allowed inside, and the public were not invited. In terms of the guest list, the family invited 60 of the 100 guests, and no international guests were invited. Only the King of Lesotho is the only international guest here, as well as former President Nelson Mandela's wife, Graça Machel, who was introduced to Mandela by Tutu. No other international guest, although Tutu was loved across the world. He really wanted a private and small sermon. Of course, the pandemic also played a role in the masses of people who might have been expected to see his body this past week. But South Africans did pay their respect to him at the cathedral on Friday and Thursday. And the funeral service itself is really an intimate and simple affair, as he had wanted it. We also have the Soweto Gospel Choir who will be singing at the funeral service via a digital broadcast, and some of the hymns that will be sang during the service are also African hymns. So it's an Anglican Requiem Mass with an African flavour, exactly how the Arch planned it to be.
Okay, Nadine Theron, our correspondent in Cape Town, thank you very much.